Everyone wants to know the same thing. What is the fastest way to build wealth? Ask 10 people and you will hear 10 different answers. Buy real estate. Invest in index funds. Start a business. Buy crypto. Buy gold. Everyone has an opinion. Most of them are based on stories. Very few are based on numbers. But this is not one of those videos where someone flashes a graph on the screen and declares a winner after 5 minutes. This is the story of two friends. Same age. Same salary. Same city. Same opportunities. They both started with exactly $50,000. 20 years later, both of them became wealthy. But their journeys could not have been more different. One spent years answering midnight phone calls, fixing broken appliances, and carrying hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. The other did almost nothing. Just one decision, repeated over and over again. And here is the strange part. For most of those 20 years, both of them believed they were winning. Only when they finally sat down and compared everything did the truth appear. The money, the time, the stress, the risk. They realized they had been measuring success in completely different ways. And the answer surprised both of them. So let me offer you the same choice they faced. Path number 1. Buy a rental property. Become a landlord. Build equity. Collect rent. Path number 2. Put the exact same money into simple index funds and then forget about it. Which one would make you richer? Most people answer that question in less than 10 seconds. Almost nobody thinks about it for 20 years. Jake and Marcus were about to find out why that matters. Jake and Marcus met during their first year working at the same engineering company. They were both 28 years old. Both earned around $55,000 a year. Neither came from a wealthy family. Neither had inherited any money. Every dollar in their savings came from skipped vacations, used cars, cheap roommates, and years of saying, maybe next year. After nearly 6 years of saving, both finally reached a milestone that once felt impossible. $50,000. To most people, that kind of money feels life-changing. To Jake, it looked like the key to becoming a landlord. To Marcus, it looked like freedom. Neither of them realized they were about to begin a 20-year experiment. Now, people argue about investing all the time. Real estate versus stocks. Active income versus passive income. Leverage versus compounding. But here is the problem. Most comparisons only show you the exciting parts. The landlord who owns 20 properties. The investor whose portfolio doubled. Nobody talks about the years in between. The weekends. The uncertainty. The moments when both strategies look like terrible decisions. That is where this story really begins. Not at the finish line, but on the day each of them made a quiet choice that would shape the rest of their lives. Let us start with Jake. Jake could barely sleep the night before closing. He must have checked the paperwork 20 times. Every signature felt like another step toward becoming financially successful. His parents could not stop smiling. His co-workers congratulated him. Even strangers seemed impressed when he mentioned he was buying an investment property. There was something about owning a house that made success feel tangible. You could touch it. You could drive past it. You could take pictures of it. It made wealth feel real. The house was not glamorous. It was a modest 3-bedroom home in a quiet neighborhood. Nothing fancy, just a place where families stayed for years. The purchase price was $250,000. Jake's entire savings became the 20% down payment. The bank financed the rest with a 30-year mortgage. The monthly payment came to about $1,330. It sounded scary at first, until his realtor smiled and said, "You will have a tenant paying that for you." Those words echoed in Jake's head all week. Someone else would buy his house for him. That thought felt magical. A month later, a young family signed the lease. The rent was $1,800 every month. Jake stared at the numbers. Mortgage, $1,330. Rent, $1,800. Almost $500 left over each month. It looked almost too easy. That night, he celebrated with friends. Someone raised a glass and said, "Congratulations, you have passive income now." Jake smiled. He believed every word. Across town, Marcus spent less than 15 minutes making his own decision. He opened his laptop. He logged into his brokerage account. He transferred $50,000 into a low-cost total market index fund. Then he set up an automatic investment. $300 every single month. No spreadsheets. No inspections. No negotiations. No champagne. Just a confirmation email. When his co-workers asked what he bought, Marcus shrugged. Just index funds, he said. Nobody asked another question. The conversation ended almost immediately. Owning thousands of tiny pieces of companies was not exciting. There was nothing to show people. No keys. No property. No stories. Just numbers on a screen. Driving home that evening, Marcus wondered if he had made the boring choice. Jake wondered if he had made the brilliant one. Neither of them knew that first impressions are often the most expensive part of investing. Now fast forward 3 years. One of them looked incredibly successful. The other looked like he had barely started. But appearances can be dangerously misleading, because behind one front door, a very expensive surprise was waiting. For the first year, everything seemed to confirm Jake's decision. Rent arrived almost every month on time. His mortgage balance slowly shrank. Neighbors talked about home prices rising. Every few months, another house nearby sold for a little more than the last one. Jake loved driving past the property after work. Sometimes, he would slow down just enough to glance at it. I own that, he would quietly think. That feeling never got old. Every mortgage payment built a little more equity. Every increase in the home's value made him feel richer. His accountant also had good news. Mortgage interest deductions, depreciation, tax savings. For the first time, Jake realized real estate was not just about rent. The tax code rewarded property owners in ways most people never noticed. It felt like another confirmation that he had chosen wisely. Meanwhile, Marcus had almost nothing interesting to report. Every few months, he would open his investment app. Sometimes it was up. Sometimes it was down. Occasionally, it was down enough to make him uncomfortable. Then a few weeks later, it recovered. There were no celebrations. No dramatic milestones. Nobody asked him about his portfolio at family dinners. His investments grew quietly, almost invisibly. In fact, there were weeks when Marcus forgot he was even investing. The automatic contributions continued every month without him thinking about them. $300. Again, and again, and again. It felt almost disappointingly ordinary, which is exactly how compounding usually begins. Very quietly. So quietly that most people quit before it ever becomes impressive. Jake felt rich. Marcus felt patient. And one of those feelings would age much better than the other. But before either of them could see the bigger picture, a phone rang just after 2 o'clock on a freezing January morning. And everything changed. One phone call. That is all it took. At 2:13 in the morning, Jake's phone lit up. He squinted at the screen. It was his tenant. And nobody calls their landlord after midnight to say thank you. He answered. Water. Everywhere. The water heater had burst. And that was the moment Jake discovered the hidden cost of owning something real. Because the numbers on a spreadsheet never mention the 2 a.m. emergencies. They never mention the repair bills. They never mention the vacant months when no rent arrives at all. Jake was building equity, yes. But he was also trading his time, his sleep, and his peace of mind. Marcus, on the other hand, slept soundly that same night. His money kept working while he rested. No tenants, no plumbing, no midnight calls. And here is the deeper lesson hiding in this story. Both paths can build real wealth, but they charge very different prices. Real estate can reward you with leverage, cash flow, and tangible control. Yet it demands your time, your energy, and your tolerance for stress. Index fund investing can reward you with simplicity and quiet compounding. Yet it demands something even harder for most people. Patience. The discipline to do almost nothing for 20 years. Jake measured success by what he could see and touch. Marcus measured success by what he could ignore and forget. And 20 years later, both were wealthy. But only one of them had also bought back his own time. So before you choose your own path, ask yourself the real question. It is not only which one makes more money, it is also which price am I truly willing to pay? Because the fastest way to build wealth is rarely the story you hear at a celebration. It is usually the quiet decision you are still keeping 20 years later.